House will come back to order. First reading of bills and resolutions.
Senate Bill 427 by Senator Utterman of the 45th to be entitled an act to amend an act providing a new charter for the city of Beaufort.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 438 by Senator Williams of the 19th to be entitled an act to repeal the amendment to the Constitution of Georgia providing that county officers of Telfair County shall be ineligible to hold office under certain conditions.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 439 by Senator Black of the 8th to be entitled an act to provide for a new charter for the city of Barwick.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 440 by Senator Albers of the 56th to be entitled an act to amend an act entitled an act to reincorporate the city of Roswell in the county of Fulton.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
House will come back to order. We're about to take up a supplemental local calendar. Supplemental local calendar. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so. Clerk will read the supplemental local calendar.
Senate Bill 423 by substitute by Senator Jeffries of the 17th, Newton County. House Bill 1011 by Senate Committee substitute by Representative Carson of the 46th, Cobb County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the supplemental local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of passage of the bills will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of the bills on the supplemental local calendar, the ayes are 166, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. We are about to go back on to the rules calendar. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Resolution 1027.
Senate Resolution 1027 by Senator Mullis, the 53rd, Miller, the 49th, Cowles from the 46th, Taylor, the 38th, Jackson, the 24th, creating the Joint Music Economic Development Study Committee. This resolution has been referred to the Committee on Special Rules. That committee recommends that this resolution be adopted by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Reeves to present the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. Present you Senate Resolution 1027. Earlier this session, several of you, some of our colleagues in the Senate, began work on an effort to grow our musical economy in Georgia. We have seen firsthand how our state has benefited from the film industry in Georgia. Now we're hoping to build the music industry in our state as well. I filed a bill earlier this session to make public our aim and direction with growing the music industry in Georgia. Our goal is to continue to build upon the concepts in that bill. Chairman Mullis has filed for this joint study committee to study the issue over the summer and fall. The areas of focus for the study committee include music recording, studio growth, music technology and entrepreneurship, film scoring, which stands to utilize the 16 symphony orchestras already in Georgia, the economics behind touring and rehearsal warm-ups, bringing companies to Georgia to record and ways to do this, retaining our homegrown musical talent, and our music program graduates from college programs across the state instead of losing this talent to states like Tennessee, California, and Texas. The committee will consist of 3 members of the House and 3 members of the Senate, the Commissioner of Economic Development, and 6 persons from the music business. If there are no questions, Mr. Speaker, I will yield the will.
You have questions. Do you yield?
I do.
Chair recognizes Representative LaRicchia to your right for a question.
Gentleman, yield.
To my next door neighbor, sweet mate.
Is it not true that a good way to promote music in Georgia would be for you to use your musical talent in playing in the praise band in your church?
As soon as my campaign is over, I intend to join the praise band at my church. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the will.
You have other questions you want to?
I'll take one more.
Chair recognizes Representative Rogers to your right.
Will the gentleman yield?
I will.
Is it not true that according to your seatmate, Representative Strickland, you took 1 minute and 27 seconds in the well? It's the fastest that you've ever done a bill.
No, that is not true. I've been less than a minute one time this session.
I think you'll see the results. I applaud your effort to get us out of here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I yield the will.
Gentleman has yielded the will. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall the resolution be adopted? All those in favor of the adoption of Senate Resolution 1027 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the adoption of Senate Resolution 1027. The ayes are 166, the nays are 5. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to House Resolution 1382.
House Resolution 1382 by Representative Buckner of the 137th and others, encouraging the Department of Community Health to create and seek the counsel of a State Health Benefit Plan Customer Advisory Council. This resolution having been referred to the Committee on Health and Human Services. That committee recommends that this resolution be adopted.
Chair recognizes Representative Buckner to present the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I request your favorable consideration for House Resolution 1382. Many of you will remember that a number of our state employees and retirees have come to us over the last few years very concerned that the health care costs keep increasing, and that we actually have some retirees that say that the health insurance costs more than they receive in a retirement benefit. All this resolution does is urge the department to establish an advisory committee to get input from the state employees and retirees and teachers or retired teachers, to have some input from them about the state health benefit plan. If there are no questions, I ask for your favorable consideration. I feel like this is something we can do to help them feel better about the process, and I appreciate the leadership helping direct me in this path.
You have no questions.
I ask for your consideration. Thank you. I yield the well.
Lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All those in favor of the adoption of House Resolution 1382 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the adoption of House Resolution 1382. The ayes are 155, the nays are 14. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 208. Senate Bill 208.
Senate Bill 208 by Senator Ramsey, the 43rd, Jones of the 10th, Davenport of the 44th, Henson of the 41st, and others, to be entitled an act to incorporate the city of Stonecrest into DeKalb County. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Government Affairs. The committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Dawkins Hagler to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am asking for your favorable consideration for Senate Bill 208. It is the bill to create the city of Stonecrest. We do have the following substitutes. I want to thank Chairman Reines and the Governmental Affairs Committee for passing it out of committee unanimously. And so basically what I changed in the bill when it came from the Senate was the salaries to make them line up with other new cities that have been formed over the past few years. I'm changing the salary from mayor to $25,000 and city council to $20,000. And that is it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, I'm finished back. I don't want no questions. None.
You have a couple of questions. Do you care to yield?
4-1, sir.
4-1.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see.
Or 2.
Okay. Don't make me choose.
Okay.
Chair recognizes Chairman Welch to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
Yes, I do.
As I read the bill, is it not true that it does cap the amount of ad valorem taxes at 3.3 millage points? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is it also not true that it contains a homestead exemption, a general freeze, also a homestead exemption for senior citizens, disabled, as well as a homestead exemption of $10,000 per assessed value, and a homestead exemption for surviving spouses, as well as a homestead exemption to the 1 mil equivalent? Is that not true?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you yield for the second question?
I yield for the second question.
Chair recognizes to your left Representative Al Williams.
I do not want to yield.
Too late.
I'm going to give her a break.
He has showed great mercy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well and ask for a considerable, favorable consideration.
Lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 208 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of Senate Bill 208. The ayes are 144. The nays are 17. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Clerk will read the caption to Senate Bill 331.
Senate Bill 331 by Senator Thompson of the 14th, Hill of the 32nd, Cowles of the 46th, and others, be entitled an act to amend Code Section 15-11-2, entitled 19 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to definitions for the Juvenile Code and domestic relations. This bill having been referred to the Committee on Judiciary. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair recognizes Representative Strickland to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Friends of the House, I bring you Senate Bill 331. This bill is addressing the rights of a parent that a parent has to a minor child that was conceived through non-consensual sex, or when the mother is 10 years of age or less. Sections 1 and 4 of this bill deal with termination of parental rights cases. And what we're doing in sections 1 and 4 is allowing a mother to show in court by clear and convincing evidence that the child was actually conceived through non-consensual sex, or that she's less than 10 years of age, in order to petition for termination of parental rights. Sections 2 and 4 deal with legitimation. Actually, back that up. Section 2 deals with legitimation actions, and legitimation actions, we're creating a presumption against legitimation in Superior Court if the mother can show, again, by clear and convincing evidence, that the child was conceived through non-consensual sex, or she's less than the age of 10. And Section 3 deals with adoption proceedings, and this is just saying that she will not have to show surrender or termination of parental rights in this scenario as well, if she can show it by clear and convincing evidence. Bottom line, we're doing with this bill is saying that mothers should not have to relive the horrible rape by allowing a rapist to dictate what happens with her child. There is an amendment on this bill, and I asked that this bill be postponed from yesterday to address one little hole we saw with what the Senate did. In Section 2 of our bill, we also deal with inheritance rights, and we say that if someone is not successful in legitimation, a father loses legitimation because he's found to have committed rape, that he cannot inherit from that child. Problem is, in our probate court, Code Section 5324, we allow a father to sign a sworn statement at any point saying he's the father and he then can inherit. So we went back with the amendment and put the same clear and convincing evidence standard there under 5324 as well. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Don't appear to have any questions.
And I will yield the will.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable? Oh, got ahead of myself. We have an amendment. So we'll back up. Previous question has been ordered. There is an amendment. The clerk will read the amendment.
Amendment offered by Representative Willard of the 51st and Strickland of the 111th. The amendment is AM 292541. It has been printed and distributed and is on your desk.
Is there any objection to adopting Amendment AM 292541? Chair hears none. The amendment is adopted. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute as amended? The chair hears none. The committee substitute as amended is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 331 will vote aye. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of Senate Bill 331. The ayes are 169, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed.